I spoke with Dr. Yan earlier about the Wall Street Journal revelation, and she said we must not get complacent. There is much lacking still in this revelation, more truth yet to be revealed, and she joins me right now to elaborate on that. Dr. Yan, it's great to have you back on the program. Thank you so much for being here. This is another victory in the information war, but there is still much to be desired, as you explained. What exactly is that? What would you like to see?
Thank you, Addison. First, I just want to correct one thing, that I'm not CCP virologist because I'm never the CCP member. I'm just Chinese virologist. And the thing is, first, I want to say thank you for all the people's effort, and including you and your team, because you revealed the truth to let your audience know that it was not from nature. And the people's opinions are very important in this case, because that's what Chinese government want beat using the information war. And since now we see the very great turnover from the mainstream media, that they finally admitted the virus, COVID-19 virus, came from the Chinese lab. We know this is a small step, although it's very significant. Let me just compare this virus to the very famous Chinese spy balloon. You will know the similarity and the pattern of CCP. So as CCP government want you to believe the spy balloon was just for the civil weather study, accidentally entered the US territory and also check all your very sensitive military facilities. And now when you talk about the virus, CCP using the same tactics. So if you now understand the virus is not from the nature, it's from the lab, that means you understand the balloon was not evolved from birds, but from the factory. However, we see the balloon was military made and also have the military purpose with functions like reconnaissance and also attack. So we also need to think about, why do they design the virus in the labs by the military scientists? You have to ask questions as an unrestricted novel bioweapon. Why in this report, as I quoted from the Wall Street Journal, this as the reader told them, there was an existing consensus that it was not from the Chinese bioweapon program. I just want this expert to show their evidence, convince the public that it was not bioweapon. If not, I call for the live debate.
Yeah, and that's not a big ask, considering the lies that we have been told. Now that we're seeing the actual truth starting to pour in just years later, Dr. Yan, I want to get your thoughts on Joe Biden's role here, because Biden, he wanted to delegate investigations into the origins of COVID to the World Health Organization. The lead investigator of that at the WHO basically said in a 60 Minutes interview last year that he would take China's word for it as to where its origins actually came from. And I'm direct quoting, "What else can we do?" So he wasn't too prone on probing the Chinese government into the origins of this. Joe Biden seems to be fine to just let it be as it has been. What do you think Joe Biden needs to do now that this is starting to come out? Does he have a duty to act on this?
It's the American president's duty to protect Americans and also influence the world with the value of America. And so that's why I want to tell people that WHO, there are some good experts definitely in WHO. However, especially in the COVID-19 and the emerging infectious disease area, it was deeply controlled, manipulated by Chinese Communist Party. That's why from the beginning, when I stay in the WHO reference lab in Hong Kong, I have to expose all the truth by myself, taking the life risk, because all those WHO experts working with me choose to help China to promote Chinese government's propaganda and nature origin. And also, WHO has already established a team called the new team for the novel pathogen origin, focused on the future emergency infectious disease. And I applied to be one of the team members. However, they directly rejected. But at the same time, those people who help CCP to cover the COVID-19 still in the team. So there are a lot of things need to be investigated. I hope it could start from your Congress because I already see people who are prepared for that.
Yeah, I certainly hope so as well. I've also got to ask you in closing, Dr. Yan, years later, you've been on this. You've been right from the jump, right? That's just true. You were saying this leaked from the lab. It's a bioweapon, and you were swept completely under the rug, completely ignored by the public health establishment here and the NIH, the WHO. They wanted to keep you quiet. After seeing all of this, after seeing what's come out from the natural immunity to the boosters to now the lab leak theory that is now the position of our government, how do you feel being vindicated on all of this?
I know I will be vindicated because this is a fact. And I'm so happy that on the way to vindicate it, I have the company, the friends like you and many other people, as you mentioned, Dr. Peter McCullough and also a lot. So I feel very happy about that. And also what I want to tell people is still, this is the initial step because let me tell you another fact. There are some Chinese scientists who deeply involved into COVID-19 development with military scientists still working in the labs, universities in US with millions of NIH grant in the past 3 years. Some of them even become the chair of the department in the famous university. And if you want to check, you can. I can send you a lot of evidence. I can show this to the Congress. I can show it to everyone. Actually, I have mentioned their name in the Yan report, some of their names. So a lot of things need to be pushed forward, and I look forward to working with more people.
Yeah, well, we look forward to continuing to work with you on delivering this information to the people who deserve it, and we look forward to you getting the credit that you deserve, being so brave to speak out on this in the face of heavy criticism. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Li-Meng Yan. It's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you, Edison.